Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between Moon versus 120. This game taking place here on Tide Hunters. Here we have Moon spawning as the red night elf and at what I will call the 10 o'clock position. Meanwhile over here we have 120 spawning as the yellow undead. Undead versus Night Elf, and two of the biggest names coming out of Asia. We'll see what this game has in store for us as I sped up to the 2-minute mark, or 1 minute 55 seconds, and we're looking at a Death Knight going up against a Keeper of the Grove. Nice to see Tide Hunters part of the map community, even out of DreamHack Asia, where this game is taken from. All right, Siege Giant going to be doing quite a bit of damage here. Going to go ahead and spin around in a circle, maybe a couple of times to do some AoE damage. Actually, doesn't look like it. Nice little artifact is that he is actually holding a giant anchor to attack with. Anyways, coming back through, we are looking at the Keeper of the Grove going up against the Death Knight. Death Knight, Keeper of the Grove going to go ahead and pass each other here for just a moment. Ring of Protection picked up by the Keeper of the Grove. Death Knight with that little frost blade of his looking to put in some pressure. And 120, interestingly enough, doing a bit of, well, harassment with just a Death Knight and skeletal minions. Not something that I was expecting at all. Wisp now going to perhaps try and back away here. There's a Death Knight. There's a hit plus a Death Coil. Exactly the type of harassment that the Death Knight is expected to do here. And then does it again. So really chipping away at Moon's Wisps here and gonna delay Moon's tech to tier 2 by making sure he doesn't have enough lumber, on top of the fact that he needs to train up extra Wisps to replace the ones that he has lost. Meanwhile, back down to the south here, a swarm of ghouls already making its way out, perhaps to do a little bit of creeping. Death Knight, however, is low on mana after those 3 death coils, using up 225. Thank you everyone for tuning in so far. It's been an absolute blast trying to get back into the swing of things, in terms of my casting times and things of that nature. Also, I do have family visiting with me for the next 5 weeks still. So during that time, I may not be able to keep my morning normal routine as much as I would like to. Death Knight still chasing after a Wisp. Are we going to see a Death Coil? Yes, we are. Another Death Coil there. So 4 Wisps killed by that Death Knight. Meanwhile, a lot of micro here, and it looks as though the Ghoul actually picked up the item and then handed it to the Death Knight. Death Knight wandering around does have Unholy Aura, should be able to move out very quickly. If you ever wondered what the regeneration rate on on a unit is, normally it is just, I believe, it comes out to 1 per second normally, and with Unholy Aura you actually go up to half a second at level 1, and then 1.5 for all of you those math junkies out there. Death Knight nearly at level 3. Same thing with the Keeper of the Grove, who's going after a Sea Turtle Creep Camp as well. Teching the tier 2, nearly more than 50% done. And then, 120, no surprise, a little bit further along as he didn't need to train up additional acolytes or additional workers to replace any that were lost. All right, so people out there were wondering what type of microphone I had used. Got a couple of thumbs up actually asking that question. I've gone over it in years past, but then again, that was years ago. So I am using an SM58 off of a Behringer 4-channel audio board into an Asus Zonar Essence STX that has dual RCA inputs for left and right. That's just that was how serious I was back in the day trying to cast. That this was before there was a whole bunch of Yeti Blue, like the whole entire idea of Yeti Blue microphones and all of these USB powered, very, very strong USB powered microphones even existed. So, yeah, try to invest a good amount early. Well, still doing it 12 years later, so hopefully it was worth it. Death Knight still wandering around here. Death Knight going after some Wisp, and then Entangle comes down. And, well, the Entangle, what is he going to really do with that level 2 Death Coil? And 120's strategy and style actually doesn't seem terribly efficient. At least not with all the Death Knight and the Death Coils. Normally, throughout matchups, you expect to see that the Death Knight is trying to hold on to his mana and use it very, very well, a very much on his own units to try and save them. That is not what we're seeing here. Instead, what we're seeing is the Death Knight trying to be very aggressive with his level 1 and level 2 death coils, and even realizing that, hey, my opponent is going to be leaving behind the tomes as the Keeper of the Grove is getting large amount of experience. Beautiful job there, Keeper of the Grove now trying to come in. Staff of Teleportation, we could be looking at Death Coil, Frost Nova, damage could be coming in. There is an Entangle right there. There's a Frost Nova right there trying to ensure the extended length or extended slow movement, as the Nerubian Tower did slow him down. Halls of the Dead, tech to tier 3, already nearly done. We are looking at the Gloves of Haste being transferred over to the Lich. No big surprise there for anyone who has ever played up or played against, well, an undead player. Lich with an Orb of Corruption is just that much scarier. Coming back through, Death Knight looking to finish things off. Sea Giant with that little spin right there, getting in some AoE damage. Force Troll Trapper, well, tries to ensnare a Crypt Fiend as the units are now looking to back away again. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove is out onto the battlefield, trying to play a little bit of tempo play, trying to distract, perhaps delay the leveling of the Lich here. Meanwhile, well, in comes the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove going to try and burst down the Crypt Fiend, but the Death Knight is in fact nearby. Should be able to get off a level 2 Death Coil here in just a moment, and won't go in for the save. There it is. There's that save right there. Picking up some more items. Belt of Giant Strength. Death Knight now with plus 9 strength, an additional 225 hit points, and 9 damage. Yeah, that is, well, rather scary if you think about it. Death Knight, even at level 3, sitting at over 1,000 hit points. All right, Forest Troll High Priest going to get taken down. Forest Troll will also get taken down as well. Hello, Metaphysics. Come on, finish it off. Finish off that High Priest there. And now, well, only a Forest Troll is left. All right, purposely leaving behind 1 or 2 creeps. Not quite sure what to make of it. Lich now, well, joining in, perhaps trying to do a little bit more creeping as well. Death Knight most likely picking up an Orb of Corruption, and will be giving that to that Lich here in just a moment, as the creep pattern on this map is incredibly important. A Demon Hunter going to go ahead and teleport back home. No Staff of Preservation. Normally you Staff of Preservation the Demon Hunter home, and then you Staff of Teleportation back out. Demon Hunter, make sure to well, rectify that problem the next time around, picking up that Staff of Preservation now. Staff of Preservation may be given and handed off to the Keeper of the Grove. Meanwhile, we are looking at a Demon Hunter, well, with 11 armor and ruined bracers. Hero spell damage going to be greatly reduced, as we see a Ziggurat now absorbing a little bit of damage, and it looks as though this Haunted Gold Mine will simply be cancelled. Meanwhile, Hippogriff Riders are in the air, causing problems. Destroyers are nearby. Where are these units perhaps going to try and go, as the Destroyer going to try and engage against 4 Hippogriff Riders with those archers nearby. Meanwhile, still, Haunted Gold Mine still trying to be constructed. Keeper of the Grove still dancing around in the circle. There is 1 Spirit Tower. No web research. Oh, nope. Web has been researched. Crypt Fiend should be going after that. Hippogriff Rider right there. That Hippogriff Rider could easily get taken down. 1 or 2 more shots will, in fact, take it down. There it goes, as the Keeper of the Grove now tries to wander on in. That seems like a bit of a bad play. What is Moon doing? Moon may actually accidentally run into the hands of the Death Knight here. Death Knight could have chased, could have bursted it down, decides not to, as the Hippogriff Riders come back across on the other side. Demon Hunter and Keeper of the Grove trying to play this strange game of putting pressure. Meanwhile, all 120 wants to do is set up his expansion, as Moon already has his. Thank you, Metaphysics. Coming back around here, we are looking at the Hippogriffs hiding off in the corner. Moon is playing a rather interesting game here. Meanwhile, Potion of Invisibility coming in from the Keeper of the Grove. Is he going to steal the item and steal some experience? That is the question here. Meanwhile, Orb of Corruption, that negative armor does add up very quickly, causing bonus damage on top of everything right there. I think what -4 armor, or yeah, -2 armor is a 12% damage reduction, but the Hippogriffs come in for the steal. Hippogriffs come over with the steal. Healthstone being left behind. Keeper of the Grove fighting acolytes in transition, gonna devour that magic, and now it will put pressure onto that Keeper of the Grove back. Death Knight does pick up that Healthstone once more. Keeper of the Grove did get to level 4 off of that steal, I believe, as the Lich well, tries to get to level 3. Demon Hunter is already at level 3. Lich sitting at level 2, gonna get close to level 3. Yeah, nice just kill steal right there. Getting the experience for that Keeper of the Grove and that Demon Hunter. I believe both of them could have leveled up from that one kill steal there. Demon Hunter now in that front line position. That is going to be one very durable Demon Hunter, and the situation here, a potion of greater healing would have been an absolutely beautiful item when you know. Well, it looks like he sold one of the rings of protection for a slippers of agility instead. Now doing a little bit more damage, attacking a little bit faster, but losing a bit of armor as well. Coming back across to the other side, a Death Knight going after these giant sea turtles. Once more, going to be able to finish them off pretty easily. Lich is sitting at level 3, picks up a potion of greater healing, and the Death Knight has the health stone. All right, this is quite scary. 120 does have a very, very scary items. Meanwhile, we're looking at the hippogriffs and the fairy dragon style of play. Going up against the Smash Crypt Fiend, perhaps just too many units in the air to really be able to web them all down. I guess if you have a strategy that's worth doing, it's also worth overdoing, as we're, well, going to be coming over here to try and repair. Acolytes are on repairs. There's Hippogriff Skate coming down, Mana Burn coming across, Obsidian Statue already down to dead, as the Keeper of the Grove is unable to, the Death Knight is unable to death coil it here. Nerubian Tower trying to slow things up quite a bit. Hippogriff Riders are still getting webbed down quite quickly, 56 supply compared to 63, as 120 is starting to fight his way back after the initial loss of some of those early units. All right, there's a Devour Magic, but a little bit too little, too late, as the Destroyer still trying to go after some additional targets here. Death Knight now out of mana, same thing with that Lich. Both of them still have health stones, as the Death Knight also has a Wand of Mana Stealing, could try and take a little bit of mana from something, as we're looking at the Fairy Dragons and some of the Hippogriff Riders unable to retreat as they get webbed down. All right, it looked like a Scroll of Healing was used right there to keep that Fairy Dragon alive. That extra bonus armor quite a lot here, as the Fairy Dragon only with +8 armor, even in that Mana Flare form, because of the Orb of Corruption. Level 5 on a Death Knight, level 4 on a Lich, going up against a level 4, level 3. Demon Hunter is nearly level 4 as well, but we all know those odd level hero level ups are a generally bigger power spike. Level 3 and level 5 unlocking the more powerful level 2, level 3 ability. Level 3 ability would have been the Demon Hunter's level 3 mana burn, perhaps shutting down that Lich and the Death Knight. Dark Ritual has been trained up by the Lich. We'll be able to sacrifice Crypt Fiends in order to get off some Frost Novas, and normally that would work out well on a diving Demon Hunter after he mana burns. Now I'm not quite so sure, as he does have Rune Bracers and is once more additionally protected even more from spell damage. Demon Hunter is very difficult to kill, but he doesn't have that much hit points, as we see a round of web quickly go down. Death Coil, Frost Nova, Lich coming around to try and attack. Frost Armor onto a Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend, however, not saved. Demon Hunter gets up to level 4. More battling coming underway. Crypt Fiend's trying to back away. Demon Hunter breaks off the chase to try and switch onto a new target, as the Death Knight does have enough mana for a Death Coil right there, using a Mana Steal wand. Beautifully done right there, using a Mana Steal wand to save the Crypt Fiend, realizing that he had 25 mana and bursting it back the other way. Beautifully played by 120, using a charge, and then, well, Demon Hunter said, wait, Death Knight has mana, let me mana burn, and only burned away 8 mana. Mass Fairy Dragons in the air. They don't attack very far, they don't attack very fast, but what they do have going for them, they have bonus armor if they get webbed down easily. Oh, Crypt Fiend gonna get pelted to death once more. Meanwhile, the Death Knight and trying to go after this Granite Golem creep camp. Is it going to end up getting taken down? Yes, the Death Knight picks up the Pipe of Insight, and, well, the item pickup may have potentially made it worth it. Alright, picking up that item means that Obsidian Statues will not be running out of mana nearly as quickly as before, and because of that, well, you don't have to force your obsidian statues to turn into destroyers once they are out of mana. This is perhaps a little bit of a game changing fight there as Demon Hunter now going to go ahead and try and engage. Here we are, Mana Flare coming through, trying to take down the Obsidian Statues. Units are trying to retreat back once more. Fairy Dragons now trying to charge in the other way. Frost Nova coming in as the Obsidian Statues are trying to retreat to the very, very far back, trying to absorb some damage and still trying to retreat here. Fairy Dragons are just Mana Flaring those Obsidian Statues. Meanwhile, Crypt Fiends have really nowhere to run, starting to stick their head in the sand, but well, we still need those units to stick around and fight as the burrowed Crypt Fiend is revealed by Dust of Appearance. Death Knight continuing the fight here, Lich continuing the fight, Demon Hunter trying to clean up some of those Crypt Fiends, and well, without any mana, the Death Knight has not been able to use that Death Coil as efficiently as he would like. The army of Moon is rather wide, but how do you deal with a wide army normally? You normally use AoE magic effects. However, Fairy Dragons are, well, as we've said, magic immune, doesn't take damage from the destroyers, and even trying to go for a panda and breath of firing those units, or trying to use Frost Nova to get a little bit of AO or mass area effect damage on those units just will. With all that said and done, well, 120 has had a decent fight, has been playing very well, but it seems like Moon is just biding his time, waiting for the right opportunity. He has a very strong army in these Fairy Dragons, and we haven't seen what 120 can really do to counteract them as of yet. Gargoyles with Vampiric Aura maybe could be an interesting choice. Vampiric Aura, giving the gargoyles significantly more a more lasting ability, as the melee damage on a gargoyle is actually rather high. I believe in the 60 range. So healing up 12 hit points per auto attack may overcome some of the damage here. But then again, the Fairy Dragons do in fact have Focus Fire. Coming back through. Well, Keeper of the Grove and Demon Hunter could get caught out in the open. Units are trying to retreat back once more. There is double scrolls of healing on the two Night Elf heroes. Meanwhile, Mass Fairy Dragons here, a very, very annoying style of play, as we're also transitioning into Druids of the Talon. All right, interesting call to go into Druids of the Talon. Yes, Ancients of Wind were already trained up, but I wasn't expecting to actually see dots at this point in stage. Fairy Dragons now overhead, Scroll of Town Portal. This is a very, very massive hit and run style army, as the units are all going to back away. There's a couple of webs, but well, doesn't stick around that long. All right. Keeper of the Grove, Demon Hunter, looking to venture forth once more. Level 5, going up against a level 4. Tree of Life gonna trickly try and root itself, change its armor, finally back to fortified armor. Has taken quite a bit of damage, but will regenerate some of it, as it was eating trees before it was able to root itself again. Coming back through the Death Knight. No Scroll of Town Portal. Lich, no Scroll of Town Portal. One of these engagements could be rather troublesome. Fairy Dragons. Well, Fairy Dragons dealing with 2-1 upgraded Destroyers and 2-1 upgraded Crypt Fiends once more. How is this damage going to go? That is the question now. Death Knight still wandering around, heading back off to the north. We're still looking at where these Fairy Dragons are going to go. Scroll of Town Portal picked up, and here we are. There is a straight-up battle. Staff of Teleportation able to get away after the Entangle to break free and perhaps continue and fight again. Meanwhile, the Tree of Life is going to be rooting itself into position here, and this may become a potential problem. All right, Fairy Dragons, where are they going to try and put the pressure in? Tree of Life was already rooted, already with fortified armor, trying to deal damage to 7 fortified armor, even 1,300 hit points with an army of this size is rather difficult. Meanwhile, we're looking at piercing damage. Demon Hunter is going to be trying to dive on in, going after the Acolytes here. They're going to end up getting taken down. Demon Hunter with level 2 evasion, avoiding quite a bit of damage as one Nerubian Tower gets taken down. Scroll of Town Portal coming in, and Moon playing another just very annoying style of play, hit and run tactics, taking down all of the acolytes at this gold mine, forcing them all to be retrained, and well, gonna be backing away again and again. Still, a decent amount of mining left here. There is only 6 minutes of mining left there, compared to, I believe, 8 or 9 minutes. We're going to be looking at an engagement here. Tree of Life. Another one was rebuilt already. Moon. Never saw a Tree of Life that he didn't want to, or never saw a Wisp that he didn't want to train into a Tree of Life for all of these years of WarCraft 3. All right, Moon now losing some of his base here. Meanwhile, we're looking at a Scroll of Town Portal. Treants coming in from the north once more. Scroll of Town Portal going to dive on in, and there they are amongst all of the units. Fairy Dragons quickly going into Mana Flare form, getting that extra bit of armor. And I can't tell if that is I believe that's a Crypt Fiend corpse as well. There are no corpses available from the Night Elf at all. Fairy Dragons, when they die, do not give a corpse. That and well, liches, heroes do not leave behind a corpse either. So well, any bones that you see on the battlefield are the bones of either acolytes or crypt fiends. Fairy Dragon still wandering around. We're looking at 2-2 upgrades. A Moon trying to maintain and grow his economic advantage. Acolytes may simply just be transitioned over from the main base to the expansion location, simply knowing for the fact that he doesn't want 10 Acolytes at this point and stage in the game. Bases are going to be scarce. There is currently, 4.5 minutes of mining left for Moon at this northern base, with no signs of a third base being established by any side just quite yet. Transitioning here, Moon trying to figure out what his long-term strategy is going to be. He may try and, mine out all of this gold and then do some sort of, a daring attack. The problem is, as anyone who's played up against an undead player knows, that undead generally wins in the all-in category once all the mining is done, simply because they can unsummon their buildings. Demon Hunter does get up to level 5, so level 3 mana burn is perhaps on the table. We're looking at Frost Nova, Crypt Fiends, Death Knight trying to death. A lot of evasion. Demon Hunter still wandering around here, and it's level 3 mana burn, level 2 evasion, as the Demon Hunter could be in trouble. Demon Hunter down to 85 hit points. One more shot, another Death Coil right there, and it was saved. All right, I believe there was some sort of potion of healing somewhere right there. Staff of Preservation takes him back out. Dust of Appearance to try and reveal some of those burrowed Crypt Fiends. Staff of Teleportation coming back over, and the Demon Hunter, got so low on hit points and is now back out of play again. Mana Flare causing more problems, continuing to turn back around. Demon Hunter once again with the mana burn onto the Death Knight, and 120 is in serious trouble as the Demon Hunter, refreshed and ready for action, is really starting to chip away. Moon 66 supply compared to 55. Dust of Appearance now coming back across. Destroyers unsure of what to attack as the Fairy Dragons are poking them down as well. Demon Hunter is forced to retreat here after all this time, and the Death Knight does get up to level 6, but a level 6 Death Knight is not as level 6 Death Knight doesn't do nearly that much compared to a level 5 Demon Hunter. Level 6 Demon Hunter also much more scary, especially as Moon's can continue to mana burn and try and keep the Death Knight in check. Alright, many Obsidian statues now low on, many Obsidian statues have been transformed into destroyers. 54 supply army, 10 supply in destroyers right there, 10, 20, 20, 35, 30, I see 38 right now. Oh, are there more units? A lot more units being trained. There you are. A lot more units being trained back at home. Hence, why I thought 120's army was lacking, even though it did have a 59 supply. Tree of Life has transitioned off over here to the 3 o'clock expansion location, and 120 is going to be in trouble as he is definitely going to be down bases. There is 7 minutes of mining left compared to 1.5 minutes mining left there, as there was a delay or a halt in the mining on 120's expansion. Meanwhile, the Fairy Dragons are now looking to retreat back. What is going to be going down? Oh, look at that. Don't you look delicious, as those destroyers live up to their name and able to get in a good amount of damage. All right, no orbs of venom on. Well, I take it back. Orb of venom now on the keeper of the grove. No orb of venom on the demon hunter. Demon hunter could have a very bad day. You're gonna end up trying to break free. Keeper of the grove comes back across with the staff of preservation for the save. Meanwhile, fairy dragons hanging off out to the side here, but no real reason to attack this location. Ghouls could be harvesting lumber, but that isn't really that important. The fairy dragons are not going to disrupt any of the economy here. And the question is, well, where are they going to try and branch out to next? Death Knight continuing to, well, take down more and more units pretty easily and regularly. Crypt Fiends now transitioning over. And where is the rest of the army? Crypt Fiends and Obsidian Statues trying to deal damage to the Tree of Life. So much piercing and magic damage to go around, as 120 going to end up losing a bit more Acolytes once again. All right, unable to easily take down this army of fairy dragons. As you can see, once more, Scroll of Town Portal. Fairy dragons, well, continuing the fight and going to teleport out. There's a Devour Magic at the last possible moment. Crypt Fiend will not benefit from a Death Coil, but is currently healing up from Unholy Aura. All right, this battle is just raging on, and Moon is doing what Moon does best, and that is setting up plenty of expansions. Tree of Eternity has not been walked on over. Meanwhile, Fairy Dragon's going to go ahead and continue to poke apart, and this harassment strategy by Moon is starting to take its toll. However, we're looking at 120 putting pressure on the other base of Moon, as well, as it may turn into a one base versus one base play. If this does end up happening, 120 should be able to come out ahead here, as he's going to have, well, the ability to unsummon buildings for a little bit of an extra push. The question then becomes, are we going to see a Tree of Life being built anywhere else by Moon to get in just a little bit more gold? 61 supply army by 120 compared to Moon's 48. There is 13 workers out onto the battlefield. There are no workers. I repeat, no workers for 120 at all. He has no way to train up an Acolyte, as he is upside down on supply. All right, an odds predicament here as well. He has no way to train up an Acolyte. He has no way to unsummon buildings. He can't even do the typical undead all-in by unsummoning buildings and trying to build up a larger army. 48 supply compared to 61. We're going to continue to see this battle rage forth. Lich wants to get up to level 6 and perhaps get into Death and Decay opens up the possibility of undead really having the ability to win in a base race. All right, going after those wisps right now. Going to try and take down a couple of those wisps. Does take out another wisp as the battle now raging on here. Keeper of the Grove, you're going to go ahead and teleport away, and all of those units teleporting all around. Lich, 20 experience shy. Taking down wisps should become top priority now. Tree of Eternity eating up a couple of trees to try and replenish his cell count, and now perhaps going to try and root itself once more, as an Ancient of War has to be careful. All right, some more treants. Are we going to see some more Devour Magic? Yes, there you are. We're going to see some level 6. Yes, we do. And now Lich at level 6. Is he going to be going for Death and Decay? You better believe it. The question is, how effective is it gonna be? So far, well, units are still wandering around here. Potion of Mana. Treants are still wandering around here. More Devour Magic still. We are looking at Fairy Dragons trying to head back over. We are looking at another potential Tangled Gold Mine. And like I said, Moon has never seen a wisp that he did not want to train into a Tree of Life. Lich coming back on over. Is he going to buy a potion of invisibility, something to that effect, to perhaps try and take down all of these Moonwells? Taking down the Moonwells would be absolutely key in removing much of the healing that the undead or that the Night Elf has access to. It's been Moonwells and Moonwells alone that is keeping this army just going for so long. Oh, Death and Decay. Why would he Death and Decay onto this Ancient of War instead of going after the Tree of Eternity? The Death and Decay is a percentage-based destruction. So Death and Decay would have easily taken down the Tree of Eternity at a much, much faster rate. That was a bit of a mistake there. Lich could have just tried to take down the Tree of Eternity, and that would have been too much for the Tree of Eternity to overcome. Going after this now, Tree of Eternity taking a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, back on the other side, Shade is mining across over here, and I just gotta say, Moon, I believe, made a mistake going only after the Ancient of War, which really wasn't doing all that much. All right, coming back around, Mana Burn, Death Coil, Frost Nova going down onto that Demon Hunter. Now no more mana. Is that Lich going to be able to perhaps get off another Frost Nova? No, it is not. More engagement here. Crypt Fiend's now coming back around on the other side as we are looking at, well, Wand of the, or not, Cyclone, picking up the Lich in order to stop some of those channeled abilities. Meanwhile, Fairy Dragons coming in very quickly. 51 supply compared to 59. Keeper of the Grove could get taken down. Keeper of the Grove is now down, and the Death Knight gets up to level 7. This may be exactly the break that 120 needed in order to get ahead. 25 supply now compared to 59. Death Knight now has Animate Dead as well. Gonna shut down the Tree of Eternity and then perhaps make its way over to try and shut down this Tree of Life here. Fairy Dragons just poking around that Destroyer. No real problems. However, a couple of quick webs right there, all mana flared, but and nowhere to go. There goes all of these Fairy Dragons. They are mana. They are just going to get webbed down to Moon. Pretty much going to lose everything right here. But the Keeper of the Grove is now back in play, trying to go up against all of these targets. Fairy Dragon's now back in play as well, burrowing on that Crypt Fiend. Dust of Appearance going to reveal. Staff of Teleportation coming back inbound. Death Knight now back in play as well, but Mana Burn unable to get off a Death Coil onto any of those additional units. Continuing to try and fight Death Knight. Is he going to use a Mana Potion? No, he is not. Not going to use a Mana Potion as both sides are still fighting their way through. There's another Mana Burn. Staff of Preservation, beautifully done as the Death Knight used a Potion of Mana, hoping to Death Coil the Keeper of the Grove. There was the Staff of Preservation for the predictive save. All right, that's going to get taken down here. Lich, this time around, does have Death and Decay, can easily take down this Tree of Life, and you'll see this is a percentage-based bit of damage. How quickly this Tree of Life is going to end up being destroyed, taken down in just a matter of seconds. And, well, there goes one full base. All right, this Tree of Eternity still up and operational. On the other side, Lich now trying to retreat back here. Well, gonna go ahead and absorb a bit of mana, try and engage. There is I believe that was a denial right there. Demon Hunter don't want to give level 6 to the Keeper of the Grove or the Demon Hunter, as that would end up being Tranquility or Metamorphosis. Moon still very much in this game with 2 heroes, 40 supply compared to 26 supply army. Both sides still engaging. Death Knight still has nowhere to go with his mana, and actually sold the Brilliance Aura, as the Brilliance Aura was actually coming back to haunt him a little bit, as there was just constantly mana to burn. Lich now sitting at level 7. Level 7 Lich here, now going to go after this Tree of Eternity. Tree of Eternity could get taken down as well. 40 over 50 supply. If 120 wanted to, he could actually summon up an Acolyte in order to try and, well, in order to, start unsummoning a couple of buildings. All right. Buildings are coming to an end here. Tree of Eternity, this will be the last mining building, and this may be the end of the game here, as there's only heroes and Fairy Dragons left. One last Wisp now taken down. Death Knight Lich now trying to race on over. Fairy Dragons trying to push on through here. One Crypt Fiend gonna go ahead and burrow itself, sticking its head in the sand, hoping that the rest of the army arrives quickly. Meanwhile, Staff of Teleportation, Lich now shows up to the party here. Demon Hunter actually kind of trapped in a funny spot, as we're looking at a bit of damage. Demon Hunter trying to retreat away down to 539 hit points. Are we going to look at a Death Coil? Yes, we are. And there goes the Death Coil there, as the Demon Hunter now continues to run off to the north. All right, a couple of minutes left until the Night Elf is going to be revealed, but I believe this is the beginning of, the beginning of the end seemed about 10 minutes ago. 120 with enough going for him. He should be able to close out and finish off this game with Level 2, Dark Ritual, Death and Decay. Death Knight now with a Scroll of Healing as well. Also with a Pendant of Energy, even though that's not going to amount or translate to very much mana right now, as it constantly gets mana burn. All right, Wisp comes in for the detonation. A little bit more damage right there. Another shot on a Wisp. There's another detonation. The Lich dealing quite a bit of damage, especially with that negative armor debuff. Demon Hunter, Keeper of the Grove. Demon Hunter does not have an Orb of Venom. Keeper of the Grove does. Damage over time does start to tick very quickly, and here we are going into an engagement here, trying to web down some units. Death Knight and Lich a little bit too far in the back. There goes a 1 mana burn. Death Knight now trying to charge on in onto the Keeper of the Grove. Both sides engaging. Crypt Fiend's going to try. Well, there goes a 1 Crypt Fiend with a heal. Demon Hunter down to 132 hit points. Is he going to be able to be saved? A little bit more focused. Death Knight now sitting at level 8, trying to finish off a level 5 Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter about to get taken down, and it does fall, and that should be the game. There it is. Moon losing to 120 in a marathon match from DreamHack Asia. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. See you guys next time.